Hello everybody, I'm Joe, and I record myself doing CSS battles. I am currently 42% or so along the way of recording myself doing each one of these daily targets that they do on CSSBattle.dev. Today we'll be doing 3 old ones from November 25th, that's this one, 25th, the 26th and 27th of November 2023. Again, the way this works is I write HTML and CSS to create the shapes that you see on the right hand side there. So let's get right to it. So this shape feels like it's a shape. Like you could do some of these things with a conic, with a radial gradient, but the problem is they're not really circles. They really imply an element, and so we're going to create an element that can represent the top of this and the bottom of this, and I think we're going to probably have 3 of them. That's how it looks to me. I don't remember quite how I did it. I think I did with a lot of fixed positioning. I don't think that I will use fixed positioning for this one. So let's do it. We've got no background, but we do have a border. 25 pixels solid. So that's what that looks like, right? So let's put a proper background on the body. We'll match that background. So now, and again, we're seeing the diff. What is the diff? Let's make sure that border is the correct color. So now by using margins, we move this into place. Oh, there it is. There it was there. Whatever I just did. Trying numbers and not paying attention. 60. There we go. 100. So it looks like that border that I've got is not big enough. So that's 30 maybe. Increments of 5 is kind of a safe bet. Okay, so margins, we're constraining the object. And I kind of think if we, yeah, so let's make the height be the height that contains. So there it is. Okay. So if I can make copies, so I would say we'll start with the first one. We'll start with the first one. So what's this look like? Okay. So we need a border radius, right? Border radius of, if it's 120, it's probably what, 60 pixels? 60 pixels, and then these radii are different, and of course you're not going to see it, but you could kind of see maybe that would work. Oh, and 60 pixels is not enough, so let's do 60. It might be the right thing on the bottom, but not on the top. So how about 100? 110. No, too much. How about 80? 90. 90 looks right. We love it. 90. Okay. So if we do this, and so you're kind of looking at the diff, it's hard to judge those curves in opposition, but we'll find out. Okay, so, oh, and then unstated, part of my plan is to clip path or to create something on top of the elements so that we don't get the full thing. But for I do want to do that middle line. I don't think the middle line is, so that's going to be a part of the background. Background, linear gradient. And it starts at transparent because we want to let the background of the body show through. And then we get the light color, and then we got transparent again. And that's what that looks like. Kind of a nice effect, but not what we're going for. How about 40 pixels? And then a color stop at 0. I might have that right. 60 pixels. 0. Okay, so that is also 30 pixels wide. So we're seeing 60, 70. So it starts at 40. So down. 40 pixels of transparent, and then 30 pixels of that color. Okay, so that's the shape we're going to work with. So let's make another one. Now, we're reliant right now on, so there it is. We are reliant right now on the margin. So I don't have a width set, which means that it's going to obey the margins. But if I change these margins, well, as long as I have the margins be makes sense. No, that's not what we want. Okay, so talking out loud, I think what we need to do is do a transform on the second one here. So add a B attribute, and then for that one, I'm going to do a translate colon, and then it's two variables. On the x-axis, we want to go backward, so minus 40 pixels. Let's see that move. And then we need to go vertical, minus 200 pixels or so. Okay, so that's too much. And what I want to do, oh, interesting. Okay, so if the height is 120, how come? Oh, because so one of the things about the paragraph tag is it has a default margin. And so that's kind of what we're seeing here. This height is 120 plus 30 and 30 for the borders, right? So 120 and 30 and 30 is 180. So maybe is this 180? 190. If I align it perfectly, 193, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. Okay, and let's move it over. 5, 6, 7, 8. If we can do this right, we'll get, okay, so that's too much. 90, 90, 94, 95. Are we getting it? No, we're still too far over. Maybe it's 105. 105. So let's make another one. Now again, this looks not good right now. But that's because we haven't added the clip paths. So clip paths are going to be the special sauce here to get ourselves in good position. So this translate, we're going to go forward or left to right. And we're going to make sure to have the correct attribute. So there's that one. Translate 100 pixels. And then minus, might be 300 pixels. There we go. So we need to get that in alignment. Is that a positive 104, 105? Okay, so that's nice when there's a symmetry like that. 400. Okay, how about 396? We're just using the numbers that we have already seen. That's close. 4, 3, 2. Okay. We've got all of the shapes that we need, but now we need a clip path. Well, and let's variabilize this. So translate is going to be of a var -- t or 0, 0, because we want the main one to not move. And then we can set this to be var -- t. There it is. And -- t. And that's not working. Will that not work? Oh, missing a semicolon. There we go. So semicolons. CSS has a certain brittleness to it in terms of how well it behaves. Okay. So clip path can also be a variable. So clip path polygon. And in this case, I think we know we need it from the top corner, 0, 0, to the other corner, top corner, 100%, 0. And then the height is, Well, we learned this from the linear gradient. I think it goes to 70 pixels. So 100 pixels over to 70 pixels down. And 70 over a height of 180 is not going to go cleanly, so we're just going to leave it as pixels. 0, 70 pixels. Is that right? No, it is not right. Is it 70 plus the 30? So it's 100. Yeah, so now you can see that clip path having its effect, right? So that's 4 points, and it's just a kind of asymmetric polygon. And there we go. Okay, so that's that's the variable. So we're gonna do var of c for clip path, dash c, or for clip path, and I think we can do it just for the numbers. I hope we can. Var dash c, comma, and then that's a set of numbers. Put that in parentheses, and that is working. Now we need to do sets of variables to define these bottom corners. All right. So dash c of the first one is going to be from like the middle, 50%, 50%. Oh, actually, no, we know that. We know that it's 100 pixels. 100 pixels. Comma. 100%, 100 pixels. To 100%, 100%. To 50%, 100%. So okay, so that's close. I kind of want to do the other one right now, even though it's got to be tuned. And that's going to be what? Instead of 50%, instead of starting at 50, it starts at 0. And it goes over to 50. Oh, well, I know it's not 50, but that's not going to bother me right now. 50, and then this is 0. So kind of. So we're almost there. Almost there. All right. So again, this is one of the perils of premature, like, okay, use that, put that code in, but now I have to tweak the x-axis of these, and I gotta like read it, right? I gotta read these points. 4 points. First point, so 50 pixels. So let's see, the width is what? The width is 110, and 110 is 220, so it's 180 wide, right? And if this is 30, so 150, so 75, is 75 the number? I know I'm doing that math in my head there. So that means this 50% over should be 75 pixels over, I think. And if I do both of them, then I've got it. Nope, that's not right. How about 105? Okay. That looks right. Great. So 105. Yeah, 105. Okay, great. And then this one, instead of 50% over here, it's 105 pixels, I think. If it's symmetrical, 105. Nope, it's less. 75. Okay. Right, because that middle chunk is what we chunked out of it. So again, that's really what we have. With clip paths, each one gets altered. Do they have things in common? These clip paths don't have anything in common, so I'm content with that. And we'll stop there. Let's submit it and make sure we have 100% match. Sometimes we don't, but this looks like a pretty good one. Again, I think I did absolute positioning when I did this before, so that's fine. I use my minify plugin and then resubmit. So 3 elements, constrained size-wise by margins, and I think that's it. Not a better score than I've gotten in the past, so I must have done smarter things in the past, but that's fine. That's a good solution. Ah, this guy. All right. I think this is, so I want to try to use skew. I know that I haven't used skew very much, but I would like to use skew for this one. So skew is kind of fun. Oh, and strictly speaking, we only need 3 characters for the background of the elements. So skew, is that right? Or is it, no, it's transform. Transform, skew, 30 degrees, minus 30 degrees. So that's kind of it, right? Like that's in the ballpark. But we have 2 elements here. So let's do 1. See if we can get 1. So let's do width of some number, 40. And the height is 200 or something. And let's turn off the skew. So if we can put it into position either at the top or bottom, so if we do the skew, the bottom moves. Yeah, if we do the skew, the bottom moves. So that means we put the top in, no, the top moves too, doesn't it? Yeah, they both move, unless we do a transform origin. But do we want to do a transform origin? Maybe. So if I do that, if I do a transform origin at the top corner, then if I put this at the top with this width, then it will skew correctly with the right angles, but we got to do that. Okay, so let's do that. Different 40, 50, 60, 70, and then 100, 30, 40. Okay, and then that width. So we want it to be just as wide as the first thing. Pretty sure the way I did this one before was with all background gradients, which I know will work, but this is a challenge. 1, 7, 1, 6. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn on that transform. Okay. Can I get a precise match? 10, 20, ooh, 21, 22, 21, 20. How about 19, 20? Not quite. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 degree skew. That sure looks good. All right, if I do another one, so I could display flex and put one right next to the other and then do a variable to skew, not minus 20, but plus 20. But really, what I want to do instead is use transforms and flop it. So I'm going to do scale -1. So scale -1, I don't know what that does. I don't know what that just did. A 1 minus, there it is. Okay, scale of that. And then a translate. So that's the wrong number. 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Oh, is it the width? No, it's not the width. 110, 120. So a skew of 120 gets us there. That's just the x-axis. So let's do a minus, and I guess that's going to be like minus 10 or something. Minus 10, minus 20, minus 15, 16. Crazy. So that's not a lot of code to get those two shapes. I like it. Let's submit it and see if we got it. I'm be happy if we got that. That's great. That's great. I'm very pleased with that usage of skew, and I like so setting that I think the default is like 50%, 50%. So that would be if the transform origin is in the middle, that's what you get. It doesn't work the same way, right? Setting what's the basis for this skew angle, which italicizes, it's sort of backwards or forwards. A fun effect, and you can put text in here. Oh, look at that text in here. So because and it's actually behaving and putting itself inside that container. Text in here, CSS Battle. Here you go. And that text is upside down. Reminds me a little bit of old Jody.org effects, which was an art site, and I think still is. Really fun. I'll put a link to Jody.org for if you want to blow your mind with weird web stuff. All right, so let's minify that. Oh, whoops. Oop. All right, so the minify breaks something. What does it break? Probably this space, yeah. And then unit replace. I don't think there are any units here that can, or maybe the 120 pixels, yeah, 120 pixels will reduce. That's great. Happy with that one. So that was November 26th, 2023, a fun battle. All right, so this one, thinking about this one is definitely feels like in the same category because this is a circle. Well, all right, here's what I want to see. I'm going to try it without an element. If I can get a conic gradient to give me just this line on the body, then I'll use all conic and 2 radial gradients. If not, then we can't. So let's go. This is conic gradient. My favorite of the gradients. We do transparent, 75%, 270 degrees, and then the dark color, 0. Conic gradient at, and I guess that's like 200 pixels over and like 30 pixels down, something like that. So that gets us that. And then I'm going to put in the deep background, that background color. And I want to position that. So 40 pixels over, 50 pixels down, something like that. All right, so let's move that into place. 80, too far. 70, 65. Okay, so that's parallel with it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 100, 105. So this is where it gets hairy. All right, so a little wider. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. So this edge where this is tangent. There's like a tangent there with this is a box. Like if I put this into place and do no repeat and put a ridiculous color on it, that's the box I made. That's the conic gradient I just made. But clearly the top and bottom have to be circles, and this bottom circle meets this square edge, and I want to make sure that I get the right shape. Otherwise I'll have a little bit of extra pixels somewhere, and we don't want that because that means we don't get to 100%, and so then we'll have to take another approach. But that's okay. If you watch any number of these videos, I am not shy about, well, let's just try another way. because sometimes you gotta try another way. All good. All right. Okay. Radial gradient. And we're gonna do transparent on the middle. Oh, and I think so we'll do the top one first, which is the easy one. Now that's against my principle of do the hard one first. All right, so the hard one is the bottom one, so let's do the hard one first. So at 50% over, so basically I want a circle that starts here and comes down. So at 50% 0, comma, transparent, the dark color, and then transparent. So that's what that looks like, in case you were wondering. Wild, right? We want a circle. We say explicitly a circle, right? What it was doing there, that is a circle at that is behaving according to the size of the container. In this case, this 400 by 300. But if we say, hey, I just want a circle, man, then it'll give you a circle. Okay, so that's that. Let's do it in. Do I have the patience? Let's do it in pixels, because otherwise, all right, and then 0. So that's what I got. And what I want to do is move it down. So I can move it over, but really it's 50%. Okay, 100 pixels, 110 pixels. Okay, so that places it there. Oh, and I notice that that is slightly not behaving. The center of that is a little different. So we either need to change this. Okay, so let's show you what I'm talking about. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, maybe it's fine. Maybe. Oh no, it's not fine. 20. Okay. 20, 30, 40, 110. So there's your problem. All right, so how do we fix this? I think this means our circle is just slightly too big, and that means 110 and 130, maybe. That looks correct, and then that means that we need to move this, down? Oh, and that looks pretty good. So what I'm looking for is for these radial gradients to look like they belong in at the same circle. Like if you literally are using your protractor and your compass, I think that's right, and drawing your circle, or these have the same center and the same, same center as you draw the circle. Okay, so that means this 102, 103, 104, 105. So that 105 is correct. And there it is. Oh, whoa. See that? Do you see that fuzzy edge? I don't know whether you can see that fuzzy edge, but I can see that fuzzy edge. So if that's the case, do I need to move this over a little bit more? 65. Maybe move that 66. No. And then, so there's that. So on all unless what happens if I think I've already got that. Yeah, that doesn't help. Dang it. All right. Yeah, so that guy is no good. He's no good. All right, well, I don't want to throw this baby out with bathwater. Like, okay, that's fine. So we got a problem with this one. So this is the thing that I was afraid of, and I thought we were in good shape, but we are not in good shape. All right, so let's do the top part of the circle and then see what we can do to fix. And for this one, I think I just do a circle, again, transparent, and then dark, and then transparent again. And it's like 40 pixels, 0, 70 pixels, 0, and then move him into place. And actually, we can just do the at 50%, 40 pixels or something. 50, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 115. 45 pixels? No. Oh, it's so close. Everything's so close. And yet not right. 110. Ah, that's pretty good. 5, 6, 7, 120. Okay. All right. Hilarious. I'm definitely, it makes me think that instead of that, what we need to do is create basically what we created with this guy, very similar. This top circle, right? Like that's actually what we need, because this edge is no good. Okay. Yeah, so that's our complicated shape. So I think this circle is no good. And we need, so I'm gonna go ahead and nuke, do my blank template again, and put that on the background, plonk. Actually, plonk like that. Okay, and I think we're confident that we're not gonna do anything but that color. And I guess we don't need that to be transparent either. We need that to be there. Okay. So now what I want is, I'm gonna need that to be that inner color, and I need a border. 30 pixels solid of the dark color, and a border radius of 50%. And then let's do an aspect ratio 1. Aspect ratio 1. And let's put our margins on the element itself. So we can't see any of the background, but we're going to use a clip path to do whatever we got to do here. Okay, so what do we need to do to put that into place? So how about -20? That's close. Okay, that's close. How about 65? No, that's worth. It's 55. And then -25. I know it seems like magic, but it's not really. 56. And then 26. So I'm using margins to constrain this element for 57. So with each adjustment to one margin, I need to check. There we go. Look at that. Love it. So if I show you if I remove the background, that's what we've got. Oh, wow. So the top and bottom circle have the same center. That's bonkers. That surprises me a lot. But I don't know if there's a way to use that for ourselves. I want to, but I don't know if we can. that implies that we could do a single radial gradient and do both circles, but because one has to be over top of the other, I'm not sure we can. Oh boy, I don't like this one. I mean, I do. 30. Okay, I'm gonna. While I'm thinking, I'm gonna change these to be percentages instead of pixels. Maybe not. Maybe not that one. 45 pixels, and then is this one some number? 40%, 30. Okay. And then that number. Oh. What have I done? I'm not even sure what I've done. Oh, I see. So that's all bad ideas. While I'm thinking, I'm just, asleep at the switch. Okay. So I think, no. So this is, let's clip path this guy. And again, it's going to be 4 points. We're going to start at 0 and go down some amount. I'm going to just put 100 pixels. We go over 100% and 100 pixels. And then we're at the bottom corners, 100%, 100%, and 0, 100%. So that's how we do that. And then no fuss, no fuss. Let's make those bigger. 120, 120. 120 there, 120. We get the same problem, don't we? Oh man. Oh, okay. So here we go. Okay, so this background is wrong. Okay. Now, okay, so here's, if I put a background on it, you'll see. I'll put a translucent one. So if I do 0, 0, 4, you can see what I'm talking about there. So that's a black with a 40% mask. So we can do this. Now we can do this. Although hilariously, no, we can't. We can't do it because this is straight. So this truly is very much like this, where we had a border radius that's uneven, right? So okay, so this gives us a way forward. So this border radius is not a simple 50%. It is instead 0, 0, 50%, 50%. Okay. And now we don't have the edge. So that's the edge. There was a little edge there, and I'll just show it to you again. Can you see it? These little divots there. Just that edge there. Because, yeah, so that's fun. All right, so, and now we can do a linear gradient that's just got a hard edge. It's dark and goes to light. Now you can see it. If I add a color stop here and then give it a number of 50%. Okay, so 50%, how about 55? 56, 57, 58. So again, if 57 is too little and 58 is too much, then it's like 57.5 or 0.2, something like that. And yeah, that'll work. It's probably 100 pixels, so that's the same number of characters. I could use a different unit, but feel like I've spent too much time on this one anyway. So that's 100% match, so we'll take it. Unit replace, minify, resubmit. I think we're done. That's fun. It's a better score than I've gotten in the past, so I will take it. I don't think there's anything obvious we can get rid of there, but as you can see, that's what's on the body, and then that is the element there. Now, the trick with a clip path is if you've got content in there, you're not going to see it if it's not under the clip path. There's no way to trick it. So if I do hello world, you can't see that. If I keep pasting hello world, when do you see it? Well, when do we see it? There it is. So you can't rely on it, and there it's growing. So that's a fun thing with CSS, right? So, but again, for our purposes here, we're just creating the designs. But in terms of how would you put text in this, you know, on your web page, clip paths are not the best way to go. But you can use if you look at MDN, there's different ways to use clip paths, including text offset paths, which is pretty well supported. Fun stuff. CSS is awesome. It's rough out there. Be good to each other. Make something cool with CSS today. HTML is awesome. Web pages are awesome. Make yourself something cool and be cool. Take care. Bye.